Magi was an anime that I got exposed to when I was younger, and I genuinely had a hard time differentiating whether this anime was targeted to gooners, people who loved a good story, or maybe both. But one thing that's for certain is that this is one of the most criminally underrated anime. This anime has great fights, good storytelling, and a vast world. The episode started with a blonde dude loading fruit into the cart. When he went to put him inside, he saw this little kid with a turban and a big belly eating all the watermelons. And then he starts pressing him, and then this ugly dude pulls up. My guy looks like Dave Blunt's with an antenna on his head. Alibaba over here, that's the blonde guy, gets in trouble because my boy Aladdin, which is the kid, was straight up grubbing on the food. And I am not making this up. This kid Aladdin starts rubbing on this man's greasy, stanky man tits. Alibaba got the kid off, and this fat, annoying dude started stomping him. Then he told him that he's getting unpaid work from now on. If I was Alibaba, I would have been like, man, fuck them kids, bro. So later that night while bro was sleeping, Aladdin proceeded to eat this man's entire rations. And this kid is still skinny as hell. How is this even possible? So we find out from Alibaba that there are dungeons in this show and there's riches in there. And that Alibaba's dream is to conquer one and become rich himself. But did Aladdin care about that? No, he did not care until this man mentioned women. I can't show this on screen, but he imagined titties flying everywhere. The next day they're walking the square and they bumped into this red-haired girl. Aladdin tries to save her, but that gets him in even more trouble. They end up traveling. This giant plant attacks their caravan. This fat Teletubby dude cares more about wine than the people. The red-haired girl as well as the child fell down. And in this moment, finally, Alibaba stood on business and punched the crap out of him like Luffy did the Celestial Dragon. Alibaba slid down with the wine to try and get the plant drunk, but he couldn't manage to open it up. But that's when my goat Aladdin helped. He blew on his flute and the entire body except a head came out. And bro, is this man's freak wearing a thong? He manages to open it up so Alibaba has the chance to save the girl. But nope, it wasn't over yet. The plant apparently wasn't drunk enough and starts to fight back and takes Alibaba. It was looking like it was wraps for him. But my guy Aladdin has an endless bag. He takes off his turban and starts carrying all of the wine. But look at how he's moving. This man is ore farming at the ripe age of 6. He drops all of the wine to save Alibaba, and long story short, they head on their way. So the next episode, Alibaba and Aladdin team up to go and conquer a dungeon. They got inside, put in some work, and while they were resting, Alibaba heard some footsteps. And he saw some rich dude there all blinged up. And just as he thought he was safe, the red hair that they saved earlier was there, standing over him. They completely ignore Alibaba and walk toward Aladdin, and they call him the Magi. And immediately they just kidnap Lil Bro. And he still doesn't wake up. This kid has the survival capabilities of a freaking dodo bird. The big dude attacked Alibaba. He dodged it and he held him at knife point. But hold on, maybe I was wrong about Alibaba. He's putting in some work. But this absolute maniac starts stabbing his slave's stomach because he lost the fight. He asks Alibaba to join and he starts stomping the man, and Alibaba agrees. Alibaba joins them and he starts translating for them. But since this man has a big brain, he pulled a top tier deception. He lied about what one of them said and escaped with Aladdin, and they got to the end of the dungeon's gate. The tower transformed into a peak and they made their way down the temple. But lo and behold, the opposition was there. The guy from earlier pulled up and completely collapsed. But while they were looking around, red-haired girl immediately gut checked Aladdin. Honestly, child abuse has to be the most common thing in anime. Like in Hunter x Hunter, grown men beating on freaking toddlers. And it turns out this lame ass dude was the one behind all of this. He immediately lunges at Alibaba, and my boy dodged the attack with no issue. He did an entire spin for no reason. And then Alibaba dodged another one and spun around again. Trust me, Alibaba, we see the earrings. Alibaba blocks every one of his attacks and starts lecturing this man on how to sword fight. Getting lectured by your opposition is crazy. And then he proceeds to tell him that he gave him an F. This man is giving out grades mid-fight. He's just purely farming ore at this point. Alibaba had him on the ground and this man screamed out, "Maharaga, save me!" And I thought she was too far to hit Alibaba, but bro, she almost hit him with a lethal kick. Like, what is this little girl made out of? Why is she jumping 50 feet? So my guy Alibaba was tapped in with his twin Naruto and tried to talk no jutsu her, and that ended up working. She grabbed this man and yeeted him into the wall. She got him looking like he was taking lethal back shots. And she got my boy in the critter doing the Yamcha pose. And after this lame dude got up and he started stomping him, and then he tells her to kill him. Looks like she at least got some heart because she was hesitating. She was walking towards him slowly, and right as she went for the swing, Aladdin stepped in. And he started slow walking like he was that guy. Aladdin was not playing any more games. He was like, "Give me back my flute." But the second they said no, he started emitting a crap ton of mana. Like, it got this top dad dude appalled. Then this 6-year-old boy started using his spiritual pressure on Morgiana. But Morgiana is a dog though. She started taking it and jumped in for another flying kick, but Aladdin dropped a literal sun on her. And then she disappeared. I thought this little kid eliminated her, but it turns out that she was trapped. Then he asks one more time to hand over the flute. But right as he was about to put this man on a t-shirt, shirt, a flame pillar emerged. And my guy Alibaba was so surprised he became cross-eyed. A fire djinn appeared and it said that Aladdin and Alibaba cleared the dungeon. And then it referred to Alibaba being the future king and that Aladdin was his Magi. A Magi is a high mage who guides a king basically. After all the yapping, the dungeon gets destroyed and my boys was swimming in that cash. The evil dude got left behind with the buff guy that he kept stabbing and they took Morgiana with them and they left. So later this season when Morgiana and Aladdin were traveling, this random naked dude appeared. Little do they know that's the goat, Sinbad. I'm not gonna get too much into Sinbad in this video because he's probably gonna get his own one. Anywho, he apparently got robbed the other day out of everything, and that's why he was butt booty naked. So he takes them with him, and it turns out that he is the king. A lot of boring stuff happens, but later on they go to Alibaba's OG country, and Sinbad was doing a speech for them, and Alibaba was glazing Sinbad. I don't even blame him. But that's when the max level threat appeared, the fellow Magi, Judar. My guy was just posted up like that, and then he came down. And bro, how are you a Magi and can't afford any shoes? Why is he barefoot? This gotta be top 5 worst fashion in anime. Sinbad asked Judar what he wanted, but this King Von level threat just said he doesn't care about anything. He has no reason. He just wants to start a war for fun. With a threat like this, why is this dude not locked up yet? So while he was yapping, Judar realized another presence, and Sinbad snitched on him and revealed that he was a Magi. And this demon went straight up to Aladdin, asked to be friends, and just punched him square in the face. Keep in mind, he did that to a 7-year-old boy. Then this man pulled his wand out and knocks Alibaba back, and he starts dissing on these guys. He calls them losers. But that's when my boy Aladdin locked the hell in. He started gathering his rook, Judar started doing the same, and he started blasting the entire radius. This absolute menace was just laughing the entire time while everybody was getting lit up. Aladdin absorbs all the attacks and sends it right back, and Judar looks surprised as hell. Then he explains that their Magoi competition is just them canceling each other out, so he says it's really boring. And then he proceeds to say, alright, let's just box with some real magic. So then he immediately summons purple lightning and sends it right at Aladdin. He tries to block it, but it breaks right through it. My guy, what is up with this casual child abuse? This man Judar has no chill at all. But it turns out Aladdin was able to block the attack with his djinn in time. And Judar wasn't even phased. He starts gathering all the water in the area and froze the thing. My guy has a ice spirit bomb. But then Judar does something insane. Judar turns them all into ice spikes and it starts raining down on everybody, murking the random side characters. Like, look at this guy over here. Why is this dumbass just standing there? Get the hell out. One of them goes towards Aladdin, but Ugo blocks it. Ugo jumps to dodge a second attack, but then chops him down. I thought the fight was over, but Judar's devious ass had other plans. He rains down even more ice spikes and impales Ugo. Poor Ugo. He always puts one up for the team, but always gets done dirty in the end. Aladdin tries saving him, but the wounds were not completely healing. Aladdin asks Judar why they were fighting, and Judar was like, I don't even know, gang. I just like to fight. Then Judar sends another lightning attack, and Morgiana barely gets him out of there. But poor Alibaba. He went in for the stab and it did nothing at first, but Alibaba was finally able to cut through. But he would soon realize that was his biggest mistake yet. And then he gut checked Alibaba into oblivion. Yo, Judar actually needs to be stopped. Then he zestily starts screaming at Aladdin to keep fighting him. But my guy Ugo did not waste any time and hit him with a lariat. He got Judar looking like Sasuke after Naruto gut checked him. But Ugo still wasn't done. He lunges at Judar and starts crushing him. Judar did not even know what to do. He was finally getting his repercussions for all that child abuse he committed earlier. Ugo got up again and punched him into the floor. And Judar had the audacity to say that using a djinn is not fair. Well bro, beating a freaking toddler up is not fair either. Judar says that Ugo is not getting powered by Aladdin but somebody else. Judar got extra pissed though. He started airing the whole place up. He got a huge final impale on Ugo. Honestly, watching the scene had me distressed, but Ugo is a dog. He gave a one final ditch effort to beat him and he started crushing his shield. The struggle was happening and Judar got crushed. My guy got turned into a flat Stanley clone. So after Judar finally lost, his entire group got pulled up and they were pissed off. Ugo was still on that timing. He got ready to box and this girl pulled out her hairpin and started yapping some voodoo magic. Bro, look at her face. She is not sane. So she summoned a water dragon and Ugo jumps up and starts evaporating it. She got pissed off at that and transformed it into a longsword. But just look at her. Why did she get so pissed off? So Ugo jumps toward her for the clash. Then he gets turned into an ace clone. At this point in all my videos, at least one person gets a hole put in them. And she's over there just smiling maniacally. Aladdin was not gonna let that slide though. He shot a blast at her and a crazy ass sent out some monster dudes just to wreak some havoc. He started rampaging and these poor dudes got pulverized. And Alibaba got ran up on and they started boxing, but Alibaba knew he couldn't handle him. It all looked like it was gonna be over for everyone. But my goat pulled up to save the day, Sinbad. He then grabs her arm and then depletes all the magic that she has. Keep in mind, he could have done that the entire time, but he decided to aura farm instead. He then asks him, "Who are you?" And then he says, "I'm the goat, Sinbad." And that's where I'm gonna end the video. See you guys.